All right, you mentioned the enthusiasm that you saw at CPAC for Marco Rubio. Let's listen to how Senator Rubio talked about the delegate math a little earlier.
Here's the bottom line. There will be more delegates awarded in Florida than basically every state that voted tonight combined, because it's a winner-take-all state. The states that voted tonight are important. We're going to leave tonight with more delegates than we had yesterday. I've explained repeatedly that this is a proportional process. And every night that we have caucuses like there were tonight in 3 states, we continue to pick up delegates. Now, there are clearly states in which some of my opponents do better than in other states because it fits a profile that they've targeted. We understood that. We've continued to play the delegate math in this campaign because we understand that this is going to be a very different kind of primary where the delegates are going to count. That's why I'm here tonight in Puerto Rico. That's why we're going to continue to campaign in Florida, but we're also going to go to other states. We want to continue to increase our delegate total, and the map only gets friendlier for us after tonight and after Super Tuesday. We knew this would be the roughest period in the campaign given the makeup of the electoral map.
All right, so Steve Chigueras, we heard him mention Puerto Rico. That's tomorrow. That's 23 delegates. And then Florida, winner take all, 99 delegates. What of his delegate math, though? It's a complicated path for him.
Well, it's definitely not a path to getting a majority of the delegates. That's true. But I don't really, I mean, I guess you just sort of, he's at a point where it's almost Hail Mary. I mean, it is Hail Mary time. I mean, This is just, he's not keeping pace. And yeah, he's going to have more delegates today than he did have yesterday. Well, yeah, absolutely he will, because they give them out proportionally. But is he getting as many as Cruz or Trump? No, not even close. In fact, as I said earlier, he's been shut out in 2 races today in terms of delegates. The other part of this is, yes, I guess we understood that he was not going to do very well leading up to this point in a lot of these races. But there's just no momentum being shown. In fact, he just keeps, it's either stagnant or he's losing support in a lot of these places. And I'm just waiting for the point. This is a guy that everybody's talked about as he could be the establishment choice. He could be the establishment choice. And we just don't see it. There's just no reality there. And so, yes, is it going to be Florida that's going to be the turning point for him? Maybe it will be. Maybe he goes in, and even though he's down in all the polls in Florida right now, maybe he goes in and wins the 99 delegates in Florida and the game completely changes. But I really just think that that's a Hail Mary at this point. He is not doing very well in the delegate math. He's not doing very well in many of these contests. He's won 1, and it was a caucus in Minnesota, a small caucus. And so I think you really have to just look at where is the momentum in this race right now. And it's Trump is maintaining what he's been doing generally, and Ted Cruz has been winning. And so, again, it might not be what the establishment Republicans want, but there is evidence to point that there's something going on here with Cruz that I don't think we should ignore. Now, whether it's going to be enough to overtake Trump, we don't know. But the Cruz people are going to continue to make this argument, and I think their argument right now is a little bit more valid than what Rubio is selling.
Yeah, Leslie, your thoughts. You talk to your fellow Republicans about Marco Rubio. What is it that they say about his candidacy and his path forward?
He's a late bloomer. So,
That's pretty straightforward, yeah.
There you go.
Because he didn't start really fighting and attacking, right? I mean, that was the thing that we've talked about over and over again. He attacked, and there were some people who said, well, is that going to be too little too late?
Okay, he started the attack. Ted Cruz, Senator Cruz started the attack as well. But I think Marco really led that attack effort and that debate and really turned the tide in how we started changing the national conversation about Donald Trump. I'm not saying it moved any of the Trump support, but it's certainly, for all the folks that Steve's been talking about, this kind of undecided middle, and they are listening and paying very close attention. Something is happening. I don't think we can deny that, and the fact that people are really getting concerned or perhaps tiring of where these controversies are going. We do not want to be hearing about this in a general election. Donald Trump needs to either surpass this and tap those down, squell that kind of rumbling in a very significant way. He did not do it with the KKK effort and let that bleed out for 3 days, or they start to have an effect. So I'm saying this, if you're in the Marco Rubio campaign, you're thinking it's going to break later. You see Senator Cruz following the evangelical route. He is almost, lockstep, winning the same states that always reward the Tea Party evangelical candidate. That doesn't help you in the general. He's won, won some of these other states, but it's really too early to tell. I think there's going to be movement. To Steve's point, Rubio has to win Florida, or it's too little too late. I think that their campaign may not agree with that, but it's very hard to make an argument you can be the nominee without winning your home state.
Yeah.
Again, to play devil's advocate against Steve, even though I like Steve and he's really smart, I do think that with Rubio, because he does have the, and again, jumped out even though he had the financial backing. But I think that the financial backing combined with the fact that Rubio has won and that people are coalescing behind him, the field is narrowing if Kasich drops out. I think the money certainly is a big factor in terms of giving him that ability to keep going along. I think that Florida, as Leslie said, is pivotal and very important for him in terms of whether he can go forward. I do think, though, if this does continue and we go to see a brokered convention, you know, Reince was very non-committal when Major Garrett asked him about the rules of the campaign or the rules of the convention. Things can happen at the convention, and if Rubio is showing up with some delegates, and if he is everybody's favorite number 2, which a lot of polls suggest he is everyone's favorite number 2, things could happen. And as well as the fact that Rubio, when you look at the polling, he is by far, relative to all the other GOP candidates, the strongest to run in the general against Hillary. So I think, you know, we'll see. Let's talk after Florida.
That's right. That's right. We've seen this is an electorate on the Republican side that, you know, we're not sure electability matters all that much.